Hi, I'm Bambi Sturgeon, and I want to share with you why it's important to give back to God with our time, talents, and treasure. In other words, stewardship. But first, I need to say how much I miss seeing everyone gather in community at St. Martin's. Last March, our worlds were upended with the stay-at-home orders, and it's been a slow process to get back to anything feeling halfway normal. I miss being able to greet everyone in person and just catch up in a passing conversation. And I know that there are so many newcomers who I haven't even met yet. I long for the day we can all gather together again, because I believe that being in relationship is one of the important ways we can live into our call as children of God. Another way we live into that call is to pay attention to what God has said in His Word about stewardship. From the earliest readings in Scripture, we can get an idea about this. Many of us might remember the story in Genesis about Cain and Abel, Adam and Eve's first sons. In Genesis chapter 4, verses 2 to 5, we read, "Now Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruit of the soil as an offering to the Lord. But Abel brought fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering He did not look with favor." Wait a minute here. Both Cain and Abel gave offerings to God. So what's the deal? Why did God favor Abel and not Cain? I've read this passage many times and never quite understood it in a way I do now. You see, look at the heart attitude of the brothers. Abel chose to give back as an offering to God the fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. He gave the best of what he had to give, the choicest morsels from the firstborn, the best of the flock, not what was left over. Cain's offering, by comparison, does not appear to be the best portions of his crop. It was just some. Perhaps it was what was left over. In any case, Abel clearly gave the best of what he had to God, and Cain did not. So, are you giving God your best? I mean, really your best? What could that look like in our lives? Well, maybe it means taking a close look at our finances and realizing that our giving doesn't reflect that we think about God first. Does God get what's left over at the end of the month? Or does He get the fat portions, taken off the top at the beginning of the month? Maybe it looks like saying yes when you're asked to join a ministry here at St. Martin's. Maybe it looks like starting a new ministry when God puts that in your heart. One of the ways I feel God has called me to give back is through being in the choir. You remember the choir, right? We used to help lead worship when we were all in church. Now that's not happening, hopefully only for a little while longer. But since March, there have still been opportunities for me to sing. Zoom hymn sings led by Haesung, sharing my voice with the virtual choir projects we've done, and even singing at home during the worship service on Sunday mornings. If you love to sing, but don't feel confident enough to sing in church, I hope you're at least singing at home during the service. And whenever there's another Zoom hymn sing, you should join us. We mute our mics to avoid the technology delays so no one else can hear you, if that makes you feel any better. Music is one of my ministries. What's yours? Some of our ministries have had to be set aside for now because of the pandemic, and all these months of our normal lives being put on hold have caused many of us to feel isolated and disconnected and sad. But our connections with others don't have to be put on hold. Look for safe ways to be with one another, because as I said earlier, being in relationship with others is a way we can live into our call as children of God. Phone a friend, Join one of the many Zoom offerings at St. Martin's and enjoy the connections you can make. And as children of God, we are also called to look at our heart and see who or what is getting our best, the fat portion of our time, talents, and treasure. God already knows what's in our hearts, and God is longing to be able to look with favor on our offerings. We need to heed the call to be our best and to give our best to God.